Welcome to Cujo Sound and Game Audio Talk. This time, it's about Red Dead Redemption. Before we even get started, this video contains spoilers. Maybe I won't tell spoilers, but the video content from the game might tell you enough. So if you haven't played the game and you plan to, or you haven't made it very far into the story, I suggest you do that first and progress further into the story before you watch this series about the game. Thank you.
There we go.
To make a game really come to life with ambient sounds and music, it's very important that everything fits the scene, the context, and the continuity. When walking around in Red Dead Redemption 2, there's a huge difference between how the ambience plays depending on if it's day, if it's night, if it's rainy weather, if it's sunshine, if it was just rainy weather and the fallout of that, and so on.
Let's hitch up here.
This goes hand in hand with the natural assumptions that we humans make, but probably don't think about it on a daily basis, that sounds change depending on all these factors.
Let's go, boy.
And if they suddenly don't, we experience that as strange. So if sounds would change because of daytime, but not change when there was thunder and rain, we would most likely notice it, and not for the better. Another thing in the game is the yearly continuity, which I did actually research to see if it was correct, as that is quite often where a lot of films and games go wrong. But here we are, and this is probably one of the most beautiful duet pieces in classical music ever written, the Lacme Flower Duet, composed by Léo Delibes. The game is supposed to take place in 1899, and this piece of music could legit be played in this fashion at the time, because it was composed in 1883.
All I hear about is you moaning, Karen.
Though the specific version of that composition that they're using is not from that time, as it was licensed from Extreme Music according to the credits list, and the version that they have available is most definitely from later than 1899. So the old wax record needle noise and the high-pass filtering going on, that's added later. The same goes for La Traviata here, Libiamo negli Calici, which is from 1853 by Giuseppe Verdi. The director and music supervisors of this game have excellent taste in classical music, by the way.
Good to see you smiling, Dutch.
But just like the Flower Duet, I am pretty sure that this is the modern recording from the Saint-Germain Festival Orchestra. And none of the participating musicians in that orchestra were alive when this piece was composed. And that's like the only thing I could find on that. Like I said in the previous video, this game is really difficult to analyze as there's almost nothing to dig into, nothing to find. The in-game non-diegetic music also does a really good job as well. Though it may seem a little cliche, this piece of danger advisory music does an excellent job. Also notice how the muse very seamlessly changes slightly once the hunt actually begins. During combat or specific scenes, the music also has a much more modern touch and production to it than that of the context of the game and the time that it takes place in, but it fits really well. Like this really nice and aggressive yet subtle distortion here. It's really quality work here. There's also area-specific music in the game, as they most likely know that you're going to approach a certain scene from a certain direction. Wait, this piece of music here reminds me of another game. That's, 1989, Share Online. So you want to be a hero. Hero's Quest, brilliant game. Well, at least the year resembles a little of the 1899 fantasy that we have in here by having a game from 1989. Non-diegetic music obviously triggers in certain areas of the game and at certain times, but during normal gameplay it triggers at seemingly random, or at least after a period of time with no music or no action going on, doing a really good job at breaking the ordinary soundscape of the game, doing exactly the same when it goes away again. It breaks the boredom of monotony of the entire soundscape, making the game far more listener-friendly in the long run. So I really have to say something about continuity here. The game is, again, in 1899, but at some point in the game, it clearly states that this is now several years after the first part of the story. But buy a newspaper here. According to that, we are still in 1899. For once in Game Audio Talk here, I have to seriously dig deep and look for things that I can even mention. That's pretty interesting. And the stuff I find isn't even about sound. Ugh. Red Dead Redemption 2 uses a lot of directional sounds and sound cues to spark the player's interest. In this instance, it is the piano music in the background, which isn't just there because of the location is supposed to sound good. Yet it also does that, then this music is also there as a sound cue and a way to spark the player's interest of what is going on upstairs.
Welcome back. Change your mind on something?
And there is gameplay upstairs, you'll see when you get there. It's a brilliant little sound weenie, and the game is full of those. Thank you for watching Cujo Sound and Game Audio Talk. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up or even subscribe if you aren't already. Or check out the channel for a lot of other videos about Game Audio Talk and tutorials on how to make video game audio. If you really like the content that I provide on this channel, consider subscribing to me on patreon.com/Cujo Sound, where you for as little as $1 a month can help me sustain this channel and the time I take off to create all this content. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Cujo Sound, signing out.